Hey, Pastor Steve Waldron here today with one of the finest Bibles ever made, an Oxford New Longprimer. Oxford New Longprimer. It is very difficult to describe just how good this Bible is. Really, the battle lines between most are the Oxford Longprimer, currently put out by Allen. This is actually one of the old Oxfords, and this is a new Longprimer. There were a few different variations of the Longprimer. There was like a 16 VO, which was a little smaller print Longprimer. This is Moroccan leather. I got it very inexpensively. Obviously, it's going to be Smith sewn. The leather's just luxurious. This came from the 1960s. Great gold edging, dual ribbon marker. But what makes this such a Bible that is so in demand, you can see, I'm going to pull out my Cambridge large print. You can see how much thinner it is. It's nearly identical dimensions, but you can see how much thinner it is. We'll do it like this as well. So it's just one of the best carrying Bibles. Between this and a Cambridge Concord, it's just like butter in your hands. We'll open it. It's got some good pages. Gorgeous presented to pages and marriages, births. Very tastefully done. It's a red letter edition. And see, the Allens aren't coming in red letter any longer. You can go online and find out who was overseeing the Oxford publications when these were done, but this is just, you can tell the quality of this. The red lettering is just gorgeous. Has the epistle dedicatory in it. Now here, this was printed in Great Britain. Here, it has a note on the references. What's the difference between a new Longprimer and a regular Longprimer? Let me read this to you really quick. There are two main characteristics of the references. They embody a complete revision of the existing references of the Oxford edition of the AV. That is to say, they omit purely verbal references, the mere repetition of a particular word in an entirely different context, while on the other hand, references have been added from the most recent commentaries where there seem to be of value to the general reader. All references, apart from the chain system described below, have been consistently reciprocal, i.e. found every forward reference has its corresponding backward reference and vice versa. And they embody a complete, number two, they can embody a complete system of chain references for all the more important subjects. By means of this system, a student can trace out a subject, e.g. idolatry, in all its various branches throughout the Bible, starting from any point at which he happens to be reading. For example, he comes across a mention of the host of heaven in Jeremiah, he will find a backward reference and a forward reference in the margin. Following these up, he will give all the references to the host of heaven. So you can see that's just fantastic. But here's why people love these things, is it's an incredible size, and the print for a center column reference is fantastically bold. Tremendously bold. It's about a 10.5, 11 point size print. So many preachers use this Bible, but not just preachers. People just like to read the Bible because of the print. And you'll see as well, it doesn't have, like the Concord, it does have the in-verse references, like the, referring you to the center column, the A, the B, whatever, 1, 2. So a lot of people don't like that in reading it, but they're so small, a lot of people don't mind it. Now the center column reference itself is so small, it's a little hard to read, but it is very clear. here's a copy of the red letter. You can tell that the red lettering is almost identical to the Concords of that 1980s and 1990s. They're using a little different shade of red. This is like a light pink, and I don't necessarily care for this particular red lettering. With the dual ribbon markers, and then when you get to the back, it's going to have a dictionary of proper names, which is voluminous. Scripture dictionary of proper names, and then a subject index, and then a very good concordance with Cambridge maps, and then several pages to write on in the back. This is Oxford Flexible Binding Natural Morocco 2 ribbon markers that have lasted the years. This comes from the 60s, the 1960s. You can see ribbon markers. Makes you want to get out and preach, love, and read the Bible. And it's got the greatest words in all the world. If you can only afford a $1 Bible, get the $1 Bible. If you can afford something else, where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. And that's a great Bible. The Oxford New Longprimer. God bless you today.